Very good morning to everyone again, and I'm Abhishek. Let's start with the session. I'll be your, uh, you can say, mentor or the speaker for the session. And the topic of the session, as you are already aware of, statistical hypothesis testing in Python. So it would be a 2 day session, 15th and 16th of October, today and tomorrow. The timing would be 9 to 11. Uh, so do attend that. I hope you all have the link for tomorrow's session as well. So these are the topics that we'll cover on day one and day two. And on day one, we'll start with what is hypothesis testing right from the scratch. The types of hypothesis testing. What do you use? Why do we use basically hypothesis testing? And then again, we'll come to Python basics, where in which we will cover NumPy, Pandas, Matplot, and Seaborn. It's not like I'll give you an introduction. Okay, this is NumPy, this is Pandas, this is Matplot. You can do this using this. Okay, it won't be like that. It would be something like I'll have the Google Collab sheet with me, and I'll share the sheet with you as well, and then we can start. So we'll go into and get our hands dirty on the code. So that's how we'll go about in this session. Okay, so it won't be a completely introductory session. For introductory, it would be for hypothesis testing and types of hypothesis, and hypothesis part, it would be somewhat introductory for this day one. And for day two, we'll start coding and going into detail of hypothesis as well. But to make everyone on the same page, uh, I'll go in the day one. I'll go with the basics of Python, starting from NumPy, Pandas, Matplot, and Seaborn, so that everyone is quite familiar with Google Colab and environment uh, and coding part. Okay, so this is how we'll go about. And day two, type of hypothesis, type one, type two error, chi-square test, and resources. Okay, so this is how we'll go about. Honestly speaking, I don't know that. I'll confirm you with the once I'll ask the organizer and we'll confirm you that by the end of the session. Sure? Will that be fine? I guess. Cool. Okay, guys. So let's start with day one. And before starting, there would be few points like I'm using a split screen. So it might my presentation is on this side and I'm taking your question on the this side where I have my camera. So it would sometimes look like I'm watching here and you are here. Okay. So kindly bear with me in that because if I enter in the slideshow mode, it will stop sharing my this screen and the notes of the screen will appear. Although I don't have prepared notes for this presentation, but again, blank screen would appear on the screen. So that's why I'm not entering in the slide mode. Also, I have kept your questions because I want you all to ask the questions. In meanwhile, as well as what I would personally prefer is asking in the end because there are a couple of many things that we have to cover in day one. Okay, so once the day one is over, I have dedicated a sufficient time to that Q&A part. Okay, and then there you can go. We can discuss our questions, and also we have day two as well. If you go back home and learn hypothesis testing on your own, try searching over the internet, try coding it, and if you have any doubts, we can have it in day two as well. Okay, so that is what I would prefer, and this is how we go about in this session. In if in case you are asking your question in the middle, I might not take that at that point because it might be in the somewhere in the day two part or it might be somewhere in the day one part but in the end, so in the end you will get the answer. If in case you don't get the answer, you can type in the chat again in the end of the session and I would take that. Okay, I hope this is cool with everyone, and yeah, without wasting any more much time, let's start then. Okay, so a big question that we all are here for, what is hypothesis testing? So hypothesis testing is a statistical method that is used in making statistical decision using experimental data. Okay, so hypothesis testing is basically an assumption that we make about the population parameter. Okay, using on the population parameter using the sample data. So basically we'll define mostly two statements. One is h naught and other is ha, or you can say h0 or ha. Okay, h0 stands for null hypothesis, ha stands for alternative hypothesis. Okay, so uh, it's a kind of theoretical topic. In the start it will look like a theoretical topic, but in the end of by the end of this particular day one, not for this day one, but in the starting of the day two, we'll start the coding part of hypothesis as well. Okay, so in the start it might look like a theoretical topic, but it is not. Okay, so we have to start from the basics, very like hypothesis, statistical method. So in order to let's say I am making a fact. Okay, let's say you say that average student in a class is 40. Okay, or let's say a boy is taller than the girl. All those examples that we assume need some statistic way to prove those, right? So we need some statistical or mathematical conclusions that that we are assuming this to be true. Okay, so we'll have some mathematical assumption, we'll make some mathematical assumption. We have the sample data, uh, we'll try to what we'll try to verify whether the assumption we have made is correct or not. Let's say we have made an assumption on h0, that is null hypothesis. The null hypothesis will make an assumption. Okay, the average age of the student, average age of the student in of all the students in the class is 22. Okay, so this is h0 that we assume. We have the sample data. Will have mean, mode, median, all those statistical data we have, and we try to verify whether the hypothesis or the assumption that I have made is correct or not. And if it is correct, we'll accept that okay, it's not or null hypothesis correct. Otherwise we'll go with alternate hypothesis, ha. Okay, so this is what hypothesis testing in short or in layman terms is about. Okay, you can see on your screen, it's very good example of this. I believe the population's mean score is 20. Reject hypothesis or not close, kind of this. Okay, so he was making comment on the population side, and the random sample or the statistical data it has was mean equals to 20. Cool, guys. So this was hypothesis testing. Let's move forward. As I explained you that there are two types of hypothesis testing. Testing, again, testing, there are 17, 18, many n number of tests, many number of tests for that we use for hypothesis testing. But there are different tests, like type 1, type 2 are error. There are different tests, but will not go in detail of type of test. What we are studying is type of hypothesis, not type of hypothesis testing. Okay, so as I explained, there are two types: null and alternative, h0, h0, whatever you want to call it. So h0 is at as it is already explained in on your screen. I'll just go through that. So it and in an inferential statistics, the null hypothesis is a general statement or default position that there is no relationship between two measured phenomena or no association among the groups. Okay, h naught will assume that there is no assumption or there is no relationship between the two measured phenomena, and and there is no association between the groups, and we'll assume this particular statement and we'll go forward with this. Okay, in other words, it's a basic assumption or made based on the domain or the problem knowledge. Okay, for example, let's say a company, we can assume that a company production is around 50 units per day, something like that. Okay, so this is a null hypothesis that we have assumed. Now we'll take the company's data, production data. We'll try to verify whether this is correct or not. Okay, uh, uh, just give me 1 second. Actually, guys, try to unmute, mute yourself when you join the meet. uh, it might create disturbance for others. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that was null hypothesis for you, and alternative hypothesis, HA, you can say. The alternative hypothesis is used in hypothesis testing that is contrary to null hypothesis. It usually taken to be that the observation are the result of real effect with some amount of chance variance superimposed. Okay, a company production, let's say in this case, we can take an example of the reverse of what we have taken in null hypothesis. That is, a company production is not equals to 50 units per day or something like that. Okay, so this is the other hypothesis that we have taken. So these two statements must be exclusive. Exclusive means if one is happening, other won't happen. Okay, let's say there is a match between India and Pakistan, and we are assuming that there is no system of tie or draw. Okay, and then if you say like okay, one hypothesis can be India will win the match. Okay, the let's say null hypothesis, India will win the match, and the alternative hypothesis would be India will not win the match or Pakistan will win the match. Okay, so these are two exclusive statement, right? One cannot happen with other, right? Both cannot be true simultaneously. If one is true, other should have been other would should be false. Okay, so this is how this is what we deal in an hypothesis testing. Okay, on the screen you can see a very good example. Uh, can include equals to, less than equals to, greater than equals to, all these signs. And alternative hypothesis generally includes not equals to, greater than, less than, all those signs. Okay, moving forward, why do we use hypothesis testing? That is very important question. Why actually we use hypothesis? Why the need of this hypothesis arose? Okay, so a hypothesis is a essential procedure in statistics. A hypothesis test evaluates basically two mutually exclusive statements that we have already seen, H naught and HA, alternative and null hypothesis, about a population to determine which statement is best supported by the sample data. We'll have some sample data, we make some assumption, we'll verify whether according to that sample data, which exclusive statement is uh, correct. Okay, when we say that finding it is statistically significant, it it's been done by a hypothesis test. Okay, there are few things more to add on, like the basics of hypothesis is based on normalization and standard normalization. I hope most of you might be aware of these term, normalization, standard normalization. And so although all our hypothesis revolves around these two basic terms, and yeah, we'll study that in tomorrow's class. But for this instant, I just want to introduce these two terms, like normalization and standard normalization, so that uh, you can go Google it if some of you wants. Okay. Okay. So you standard normalization. I think you must have seen that standard curve, standard bell shaped curve for normal distribution. So yeah, that was the thing. And yeah, there are few many terms which are related, like p-value, uh, or you can say type 1 error, type 2 error, one nail test, two nail test, and degree of freedom, t-test, one sample t-test. So all those things will two sample t-test. So all those things will cover in, I think, day two. That is in day two only for us. Okay, in day one, this was most of the things that we need to cover in terms of hypothesis testing. So it was just to give you a basic introduction. Now I'll switch to my Google Colab. Okay, and yeah, so this is what we are now going to start. That is from Python basics, NumPy, Pandas, Matplot, Seaborn. So let's get our hand dirty with NumPy and Pandas basics. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen. I have to share other screen. Okay, so what I would request you to do is you can I'll share my screen and I'll show you. Let me know, guys, if my screen is visible to you. Right? Okay. So what I want you to search is search Google Colab. Okay, on the Google. Okay, please do it with side by side because it is important, right? Yeah. So open collab.research.google, and here what you can do is you can uh, create a new notebook. You can click on the new notebook, and a new notebook would appear, something like this. Okay, a new notebook will appear. Okay, please do this and let me know in the chat if you are ready with this, because this is what we would be using for our coding part. Also, if you don't want to go do it online, uh, you can install Anaconda, you can install other software as well. Spider you can use. So all those other software you can use as well. So it's up to you what you want to use. But in this session, we'll go about Google Colab because it's easily accessible to everyone, independent of the your system configuration mostly. Okay, so a few people are ready. Let me know if everyone is ready, and then we can start. We'll start with NumPy, and I hope you guys you have idea about NumPy. Any idea about NumPy, matplot? Anyone have any idea about NumPy? No. What about others? Yeah, some people have. Okay, cool. So these few things might be repetitive for you. Sorry for that, but I want everyone to be on the same page. Yeah, because some people are messaging me in a direct message that they don't have idea of much. So yeah, also knowing what is important for the session is again important. So yeah, okay, cool then. Thank you guys, and let's start with. I have to mute few people. Guys, if you want to, if you are speaking something and I have in case muted you, you can write in the chat or you can raise your hand. There is, I think, a hand raise method as well. Yeah, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, cool then. So this is Google Colab, and this is how it will look like. So this button is to run this particular line. Okay, there can be many lines of code you can write in the same cell. Okay, this I call it cell. Okay, and currently I want to write only one line. Let's say you want to add cell, when you want to run cell, you have to press control plus enter. Okay, and the cell will run something like this. Okay, you can say currently I have not written anything, so it won't much make any difference. Okay, on successful completion or execution, the cell will without an error, if your code is if this cell code is executed, it will show some green tick like this. Okay, I'll zoom my. So that, yeah. Okay, so let's start with mm, okay, cool. Let's start with installing NumPy. So this is how you need to install NumPy. It's pip install. Pip command, I hope you everyone know. Uh, Pip install NumPy, and to run, in order to run, I told you that control plus enter you need to press, and it will look something like this. For my system, it was already installed. So it will come up like this, requirement already satisfied. Some of your system as well, it might come like this. Okay, but we have to do this step. And now in order to add another cell, you can go here and yeah, you can add a code as well, or you can click on this and a code cell will be added, or you can press control plus m plus b, something like this. Control m plus b, and you can add many cells together itself, so that you don't have to create have cells every other time. Okay, now uh, in order to use NumPy, we'll import NumPy. Okay, so we'll write the command, sorry, import NumPy. Now importing NumPy, but as you already might know that importing a particular library we don't use it as its own name, because again, for using any functions or any methods I want to access, which is defined already defined in this library, I have to every time write complete numpy. So how I call it, let's say the function name is f. Okay, so every time I have to call f, I have to write list f dot numpy, or numpy dot f, numpy dot fun, let's say, or any variable I want to access, I have to write numpy dot. Okay, so in order to make my work easier and my life easier, what I usually do is what we generally follow in the industry as well is import numpy as np. Any short form you can give, x y z, but x y z, all those things we generally use as the name of the variables. So np make more sense to be used. Okay, also it will resemble to the library we are importing. We'll import matplot as plt, all those things will also do, but for numpy, it is np what we generally use. Okay, so import numpy as np, and if you play it, it will be executed successfully. Okay, let me know if you are done with this step, any error if you are facing till this step. Hi Sohail, good morning. So we have just for all those people who have just joined, we have started with the basics of numpy, pandas, and matplot and cbond. We'll cover this uh, in our time, and after we have seen a few basics of hypothesis testing. Don't worry about those basics. I will cover that. If you have, I'll share with you the presentation, and you can see that at your own available time as well. Done, guys? Yeah, it's clear. No error is coming. That is important. That there is no error in your code. Okay, cool. Okay, cool then. It's easy. It's easy. I know. For few people, it seems very easy. Yeah, but please bear with me. Bear on that. Will come on a good part as well. Okay. Now, imported. We have imported NumPy. Now let's so in numpy we have, so what basically numpy is, I forgot to mention that. So numpy is a python library that is used for working with arrays. It has specialization with working in arrays, and it has also has for functions for working in domains of linear algebra, Fourier transform, and matrices. Numpy was created in 2005 by Travis, and it is an open source project, and you can use it freely like what we are using. You can access its official documentation as well. Numpy, it's a short form of numerical python. Okay, num numerical and py python. Most of the people don't know this. I was not aware of this when till now, but when I was preparing the content for this particular session, I came up to that, because we generally use numpy in our daily life. Like I have used hell lot of time numpy, but I have never gone into, okay, this is the full, this can be the full form of numpy. So that is something. Yeah. And so in python we have lists that serve as the purpose of the arrays. Okay, but they are very slow to process, if you know. Okay, but in numpy it aims to provide 50x faster than a traditional python list. So it is what it is claimed by the developers, that it is 50x times but than the python list. So we'll see that the power of numpy in this coming time. Okay, and the array object in NumPy, I'm telling few things in the start so that it will create a base for you guys. So NumPy array object is called ND array, ND array. So it's like this, NDARRAY. We'll also ask the NumPy to print this. So it's like this, ND array, and it has a lot of supporting functions, and it is very easy to use. Okay, arrays are very important part in our in our data science journey and in our data science life, and where speed and resources are very important. Okay, I hope you are aware of what data science is. I'm not explaining you that. And numpy, most of the codes of numpy is written in python. It's a python library. Some of the codes are written in python, but for faster computation they are written, the other part is written in c and c++, because you know c++ is faster, guys. Meanwhile, one question arise in which was one of my interviews question, that which you think is an faster, which you think is a faster language, C or C++, assuming that C is quite old. What do you think is faster, C or C++? C++. Okay. 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 What about others? Okay, since it is a newer language, yeah. Okay, so most of you think that C++ is faster. Hmm. Okay, what about others? What do you think? And what about Python? Is Python faster than C++ or Python is comparatively faster? Although I have told you the answer. Uh, you will be shocked to know that C is the fastest language, and yeah, so C is the fastest language. Although the C++ is a newer one, C++ has more integration. Actually, C was the pure binary language, and it is without bias, the fastest language we have. Okay, and C++ has more integration of libraries, function, and all those things. I'm coming with I was looking for some data so that I can show you. After compiling, if you run the code, it takes about 2.42 seconds to generate all 67 millions lines of code, and it means Python take 25 more time to run the same algorithm compared to C++. So Python is way more uh, slower than C++. Yeah, it bound to be slow. Yeah, cool then. Python is slower. Yeah, obviously. Cool then. Let's come back to our topic. It was some. Yeah. So NumPy, you can search on the NumPy code base. I'll send you the link in the last of the session, in the last of the NumPy class. The actual code base of the NumPy where the official documentation is there. Okay, so installation part we have done. We have imported NumPy. Let's quickly get started with the array part. And yeah, someone was asking something. Uh, Shishir, I have to look into that. Just give me 1 minute. I'll ask them and I'll let you know in 1 minute. Once I get the response, I'll definitely tell you in the chat. Don't worry. Okay, cool. Till then, please enjoy the session. Yeah. That's what I can say. Okay. So let's start with the array part. So we'll define an array with the name ARR, and NumPy will use, and NumPy has its own method, array method. And in that array method, we can pass the list. I hope you are aware of how the list is defined. So list is defined in the square bracket format. So let's take this as the list of us, and let me use the print statement to print this array. So if I click on the control enter button, it will print. This will give me the output. Okay, so this is how we make an array, and this is how we'll print an array in NumPy. Cool. Now, if in case you want to know, okay, sir, you have told that there is NumPy. So, but what version of NumPy are we using? Are we using the latest version? How many versions are there? So, what version my current system is using? So, just I want to know that. Yeah, certificate would be there, but it would be provided after you have completed the the you have completed the 2 days, the complete 2 day of the webinar. Cool. So that is what the info I got from for you guys. Cool. And so let's see what version of NumPy we have. So it would be print np dot underscore version. So it would be dot underscore underscore and version underscore underscore. Yes. Hopefully this will learn. It will give us the version of NumPy that your system is currently using. So yeah, we can Google this as well if this is the latest version. Okay, so let's Google this. What is the latest version of NumPy? I'm also not aware of the exact version of NumPy. So it is NumPy 1.23.4. Okay, and we are using 21.6. Yeah. Okay, no worries. Let's uh let's deep dive into what we were what we are currently doing. So array defining of the arrays we have done. So what I was telling you was that the array object of the NumPy is called nd array, right? So the type of the array would be, let's use the type function. Let's use the type function to see what is the type of the array. So it will print me nd array. Look, it gives me numpy dot nd array. So and the numpy is already telling you that I am using the type of the array is nd array. Okay, so this is the array object used in numpy. Cool. So basically this type function is an inbuilt function in Python which tells you the type of the object passed to it. Okay, like in the above code it shows that arr is numpy dot nd array type. Okay. We can, in order to create such type of array, you can pass a list or tuple, or mm, yeah, you can pass a list or tuple, or any array like object into the array function, and it will be converted to nd array. So this is another method to convert any Python object into nd array type. Cool. Let me give you an example of passing the tuple as well. We convert into the array, right? Cool. Okay. There is another concept of dimension in arrays. Okay, and so there is generally zero D array. Okay, we'll start with zero D array. So zero D array is something like, uh, let me define it again. This is how a zero D array looks like. Simple, a number would be there. Let's say 10. Okay, and print. Yeah, so 10 will be printed. So this is an example of zero D array. 1D array we have already seen something like this. I'll make a list out of this. Okay. So this is example of 1D array, one dimensional array. Now 2D array, coming on to 2D array, the elements are mostly presented in the form of matrix or 2D ordered tensors. Okay. NumPy has its own dedicated submodule towards matrix operations, which is called numpy.mat. Okay. It's a separate submodule dedicated to matrices or matrix, you can call it. Okay, now in order to define an 2D array, we'll do something like this. They will be separated by comma. Okay, now one, two, and they would be enclosed in square brackets. It basically shows that this is, let's assume this a particular array. Let's say it was x, it was x, it was x. This x is now the 1D array, and this is another y, and this y is also 1D array. And because of them, the each element is 1D array. That's why this complete array is 2D array. You can say it like this. Okay, that's how I remember the syntax of 2D array. Okay, cool. If I print it, you can see it is printing in the form of matrix. Cool. Now coming on to 3D array, as the array has 2D arrays as its element, it is which the if an array has 2D arrays as its element, it is called 3D array. The same logic. Okay, so I'll make the same thing out of here as well. I'll quickly copy paste this. I don't want to waste your time in typing. Okay, and another square bracket we need to add, and this will convert into the 3D array. Mm. Yeah, this is how the 3D array looks like. Although in the 2D screen in the computer we can't show it on 3D. Okay, but this is how it shows a 3D object. Cool, guys. So this was the 3D array. And if in case you want to check the dimension of any array, so this is the method you would use. You need to print name of the array dot. There is a attribute called ndim. You can use this, and if you run it, it will print you the dimension of the array. Currently, it's 3. Cool. Uh, yeah. I hope I'm not. I'm not. I should not test other dimension as well. It would work, right? Let's not waste our time on doing that. Okay. What about higher dimension array? An array can have any number of dimension. You can see it. It will start coming down and down, and you can assume 5D array as well. So in order now, sir, okay, we can write till 2D array or at max 3D array we can write. But how about 5D array and all, any array above, any array having more than this dimension? How to write that? So yeah, there is a shortcut as well. Let's define arr1 with the name anp dot array. And what you have to do, let's say you have to create an array with 5 dimension and verify that it has a 5 dimension as well. So this is the method you can use, and you can mention the value of uh, ndim, yeah, ndim, and value you can give 5. Print. This is how the 5D array looks like. Okay, guys, let's quickly move to the indexing part of the array. So array indexing, I hope you all are aware of this term, array indexing. And let's move that now. Cool. Okay, I hope you all are aware of the indexing, what indexing means, guys. Yeah, all of again, I'll explain in quickly 1 minute. So array indexing, or in general, the languages in languages, the indexing starts from 0, meaning that the first element has index 0. Okay, and the second element has index 1, and so on so forth till n minus 1, n be the number of elements in that particular array or in that particular storage data structure, you can say. Okay, so I'll define a comparatively uh, uh, smaller array so that we can understand this properly, and then we'll move to the complex part as well. Okay, so I want your support in this. I need your quick answers for that, so that I'm able to understand that you are getting this point. Okay, so this index is 0. This, if I want to access this element, I have to use index 0. For this element, I have to use index 1. For this element, I have to use index 2, 3, and 4. Okay, why this index is 4? It is till n minus 1. There are 5 elements, and this index last element index is n minus 1. So remember that. Okay, so I want you to quickly answer me this question. Print arr of 2. Print arr of 2.
3.
Yeah,
3.
yeah, great. Cool then. Yeah, most of you are, I think, getting that. No, Sanjay, it can extend to other dimensions, higher dimension as well, not limited to 1D, 2D. It's not nd dot array, it's nd array. It's the array object basically in that is in NumPy. So it's the name of the array object basically. It's not something meaningful. It's nd array. Okay, cool. Then yeah, I hope you all are correct. It's 3. It's going to be 3, and 0 index is 1, 2, and 3. This is the number at second index. Okay, so it will be 3. Okay, so other small examples I'm not taking. Just a small example. Will this operation is valid or not. And if yes, then what is the answer for that? If you think this operation is valid, let me do the answer for this.
It's 8.
Yeah. Few people are saying 7, some are saying 8. What about others? Yeah, 8. Yeah, no worries. You can't. Yeah, obviously you must have done some calculation mistake, silly mistake. No worries. Sort of. It's still okay. Cool. So it is valid, and the output would be 8. Why it won't be valid? Array 2 we can access. Array 4 we can access. Okay. But what if I make array 5? What would the output for that? What do you think? I know for most of the people it's an quick basic class, but believe me, you will learn a few things at the end of the class. There's always something to learn what you have already learned. So yeah, please stick to that. Yeah, slicing, all those things will cover. Error, yeah, obviously it will give us the out of bound error. Uh, yeah, out of bound error it will give. And Google Colab has this very cool feature of searching Stack Overflow directly. If you click on it, and it will go and search the complete on the Stack Overflow, and you will get very accurate result, because they both are from Google obviously, and they know what keyword they want to use. So yeah, that's why. uh, yeah, so ARR of 5, the index 5 does not exist. It's only till index 4. So index 5, there is no element till index 5. If I've increased it to 6, then the output would be 3 plus 6, that is 9. Now it is not out of bound because we have ARR of 5, right? Cool, then most of you are getting this point. Cool, great. Now accessing of the 2D array. Now this is the part where the things are becoming interesting. How to access element in the 2D array. So that is very important. Let us make a 2D array out of this. And I generally take this example only. Yeah. And so this is how you need to access, separated by comma. The index should be separated by comma. The first element would be tell you the row, and the second would be telling you the column. Okay. Think of a 2D array. For imagining this, for doing this, think of the 2D array as a table, a 2D table with rows and columns. So rows like this and columns like this. Okay. Uh, so the first part will represent the rows, and the first parameter of this will represent number of row, and the second will represent the column. Okay, so I'll print that and we'll get an idea of um what how yeah, sorry, square. So this is how the 2D array looks like, and let's say I want to access this particular element 3. So can you quickly tell me in the chat what should I write? It should be written something like this. Okay, there would be x, there would be y. The x and y I'm searching for. I want this particular element 3. 0 comma 2. Okay, what about others? What do you think? 0 2 is some sort of saying. No answers. 0 2 0 1 3. Okay, now the things are getting interesting. Okay, by the way, how many of you are in Bangalore? It's out of the session question. Is someone of you based in Bangalore, currently in Bangalore? Okay, Sanjay is there. It rained pretty heavily yesterday. All night it was raining. The roads must be jam packed by now. Hopefully, it's good that it is not a working day. Otherwise, it would have taken hours to reach the office for a few people. Yeah, yesterday it. Okay, cool. Yeah, 0 comma 2 is the correct part, I think. And let's do that. Let's test it. X and Y not defined. Oh, Rohan, basically, I was asking for X and Y. What would be the value of X and Y? It should be some of form X and Y. It's not like X and Y. I'm writing X and Y. It was like X and Y. You have to tell me. So X and Y is not defined. Not the thing. Okay. So 0 comma 3 is 0 comma 2, sorry, is the value of the 3. Okay, 0th, I told you this will represent row and this will represent column. So again, it is an indexing, so it will start from 0. Hard luck for all those who think that it will start from 1. It's the learning for you that always the indexing starts from 0, whether it is 2D array or 3D array or 1D array. The indexing starts from 0. And so 0 comma 2, 2 why? Because it's the third column, so that's why column number 2. Yeah, cool guys. Yeah, so that was all for 2D array and accessing all those things. Okay. Similar the case goes with 3D array. I'm not going to show you that. Let's You can add another Z where Z is defined, but you have to tell me what Z is. What you have to define what Z is. Okay. So that Z represent the Z dimension or the third dimension of if you have taken the 3D array. So it's up to you. You can try it at your home. Okay. So 1D, 2D we have covered. Cool then. There is another concept of negative indexing. From the end we use the elements, like from the end it's -1, -2, -3, something like that. Okay, so let me take a simpler example and let me show you that. Can anyone tell me the value of this? It's 4. Yeah, cool. It's 4 because this would be taken -1, as I mentioned. This would be -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so -2 would be 4. Cool. So this is the concept of negative indexing. Very simple. So again, you can use it for negative for 2D array, 3D array as well. So it's not of much issue. Okay, slicing. Now let's come to very important part, that is slicing, array slicing. Basically, guys, you want a 2-minute water break because I am feeling thirsty. Do you want a 2-minute water break? My bottle is empty. Right. Yeah, 2-minute water break would be good. What do you say? You can grab some coffee or some tea or juice, something, or water. You can. Yeah, sure. Okay, see you in a couple of minutes. It's 9:56. We'll see you at 9:58, and we'll start from here. Okay, see you. Yeah, slicing in Python takes element from one given index to another given index. Basically, it's like a mango slice or any slice you can imagine. It's a slice of a bigger portion. Okay, slicing means cutting a smaller portion of some bigger part. Okay. Uh, we pass, so basically slicing, in slicing we pass the slice index from the start to end. That is what our intent is. Okay, and we can also define the numbers it want to take. Okay, let me give you an idea of that. So this is the array we are having. uh, let's say I want to slice this array. What I want, okay, uh, I've told you that, let me tell you this first. This would be the start index and this would be the end index. Okay, you have to tell me. There is only one way to keep you active in the session, that is by asking the question. So that's what you will also not get, some of you who already know will also not get bored or something like that. Okay. Second session, just tomorrow at the same time, 9 to 11 it would be, and we'll look into the hypothesis testing there. What is hypothesis testing basics we have seen, but we'll go into deep dive into the coding as well as the error and all those parts of hypothesis testing. So you can join that as well. Enjoy the session. It won't be much long now. Already more than half of it has been passed, so it won't take much time. Okay, cool. So slicing. Slicing would be the last topic, I guess, for the arrays, because the array is infinite in number. So will the numpy, for the numpy basically, it would be the last, and we'll quickly jump to matplot or something. See, pandas most probably will jump into. Okay, so you have to tell me if I want this particular slice from this array, 2, 3, and 4. What would be the value? What should I write? Array of this comma, this colon, this. What should I write? Array 1 to 4. Okay, where this represents starting index and this represents ending index. Let's see if you know that trick. 1 is to 4. What about others? 0 is to 4. Okay, 1 is 4. Okay, yeah. So its index is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 index is 5. So the trick here is the starting index will be included. So we'll keep it 1, because we want the end value from 1. Okay, but the end index will not be included. It will be sliced till the end. Till the end means end index is not included. The element at the end index will not be included. So we'll keep it 4, because we want elements till 4, right? So we'll keep it 4. It's not like that. It's like 5. The element 5 is having the index value 4. So we don't want 5. We want just before 5. That is 4. Okay. So we'll keep it 4. Guys, if I hope you are clear. If it was 9 here, still the answer would be 4. It's not like the we want till 4, so we have kept 4. It's not like that. Okay. Yeah. Cool then. If I write this, if I so you will get 2, 3, 4. Cool. So this is how the slicing is done. Okay, and let's say what you want to do is you want an alternate numbers. I don't want all the numbers from 1 to 4. Or let's say I want all the numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep this empty. I hope it would work. Will take from starting index by default is the 0th, and end index is by default is n. Guys, what's the end index, by the way? What do you think? What would be the by default end index? Would it be n or n minus 1? Um, like n or n minus 1 for this. This is the 5 array. You can answer obviously 5 would be a good answer. Minus 1, no. Minus 1, no. How it can be minus 1? The last index. I'm asking in terms of slice. The by default index of end. If I kept it empty, the start index would be 0, but what would be the end index? N minus 1. Length plus 1. Okay, that you means it would be 6. Suppose. Okay, I think Sohail was correct. It would be n minus 1. And no, sorry, Sohail was also not correct. Someone was correct. Sohail was correct to n. Sohail, you write 5 and then you typed n minus 1. So 5 is n, and n minus 1 would be 4. So the answer would be 5. Basically, that is n. Yeah, because we will take the values till n minus 1, because right. Cool, guys. Okay, so let's say you want alternate index. So there is another third parameter which tells you the number of steps you have to take. By default value of it, when it is not defined, it's 1. That every other element we want. If I define it like 2, so it will take every other element, like alternating element. It would take. It won't take the continuous elements. So 1, it would take 1, then 3, then 5. Okay, cool. So this was the concept of it. Yeah. So L is very smart. You know, thanks, Sohail. So minus 1 will give you the array in reverse order. So that's easy how, and that's the power of Python. The code will be small, but the computation time might be take long, but the code is very small. Okay, this is how you can reverse an array in Python. Cool then, guys. I think that was all. काफी हो गया array के लिए, numpy के लिए. That was all for numpy. And let's quickly jump to the pandas basically. Yeah, good with numpy. So this was all we have to cover. We had to cover in numpy. Yeah, yeah. Google Collab dot. Yeah, I'll share that Google Collab sheet. I'll share that. Don't worry about that. Share that. Okay, let's quickly jump to pandas and we'll see how. we work with pandas. Yeah. So pandas basically, NumPy was used with arrays and all those things. Now pandas is a library used for working with data sets, and it's the name pandas has its reference from panel data. It's not the panda animal. It's from reference is taken from panel data, and Python data analysis. Uh, it was created by McKinney in the year, I guess, 2008, and it has a function of analyzing, cleaning, exploring, and manipulating data. Some of you was writing like he or she is working in 1 year from data analyst. Yeah, Krishna was working as a data analyst, right? So you must be having you must have to work with pandas, right, Krishna? So that's what Panda is, working with data sets. And why do we use Pandas? Pandas is used to analyze big data, make conclusion based on statistical theories. Pandas can clean messy data sets and make them readable and relevant. And relevant data is very important for our data science project. Okay. Yeah. So let's go into the Pandas. I'll share the code base of Pandas in the end of this class. I'll share the code base of NumPy and Pandas simultaneously with you. So yeah, let's quickly do the same for Pandas. It will install Pandas. Let's see how it tells requirement already satisfied. It says okay. Seems to for me the requirements are already satisfied. Give it a try in your system. Okay, and let me know in the chat if you are done with installation part. Till then, I'm importing pandas. We'll import pandas as PD. Okay, that's what we use. Okay, let's go to the import. They have imported. Give do guys do give me a done or something, why or something in the chat so that I can come to know that you have done with pandas installation at least. Then yeah, cool. Okay, I hope others might have also been. Yeah, others are yeah, cool. Cool then. Now pandas is been imported and it is ready to use. And yeah, so let's start with pandas. So it takes the data in form of dictionaries. I'll keep this import statement separate, and let's use the uh, let's name my our data as my data, and this is in the form of dictionary. So let's say it is car and colon, and let's say it may be uh, let's see, let's say consumer vehicle I10, maybe I20, and Alto. Is Alto spelling correct? AULTO. I don't know. I don't know. Then comma separated by then let's say mm, a number of wheels. Wheels. Okay. Although everyone has 4 wheels, but again, in order to keep it differentiate, I'll write 4, 5, or 6. Okay, in order to differentiate. Otherwise, all of them, that have 4 wheels. Okay, now in order to convert that into a data frame, the data frame is the thing that Panda uses. It was NumPy for NumPy. We use array of method in NumPy, and in Pandas library we use data frames. Okay, so I'll convert my data into my variable using the data frame. Right, so I'll write pd dot data and frame. Just one time you have to do this. Once your object is converted into data frame object, it would be your life would be good. Data, and I want to print this, so I'll write again the print statement. And let's see. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So basically tabular data structuring data. So all those things the pandas deal with. Cool guys. So this is how you make any object to the pandas object using data or data frame object. Cool. Now All this part, it is called alias, right? Alias it is called, right? Okay. Now again, the checking version of pandas, you can do the same thing. Print PD we are using, so underscore version underscore on this. We can see this 1.3.5 is the version of the pandas that we are using. Why it is necessary? Because in some projects, or the people who are working in the industry might know that uh, for some environment, for some libraries, they only work with specific version of other libraries as well only. Okay, so that's why it is important to know how the what's the version for pandas, so that we can reinstall it or update it, or use it accordingly, right? So yeah, that's the thing. So now we'll come to panda series. So panda series is nothing but it's like a column in the table. Okay, there you can assume a table, and there one column, you can say it's a panda series. So it's a one dimensional array holding a type of that was same as the in the case of numpy of array. Okay, that's the same. Okay, so I'll write in this. Okay, so let me define a list. And what I will do, I'll define my variable again. I'll initiate it again using the series method. You can convert anything to series using series method. Basic methods we have to see, so that if in case you need something in data cleaning, data processing, pre-processing, so it might be helpful for you. The pandas, numpy, matplot, so data visualization, it uses matplot and cbond. So all those things you should be aware of. Okay, so series A, and it will convert this my variable into series. And if I print my variable, it will print the series. Yeah, this is how it will look like. Cool. The D type is the type of the numbers you have kept. It is int 64 bit basically. The index again, we can you can index that. You can access them using the index. Again, this index starts from 0. You have to index the my variable, not the ARR. Obviously A is the list, you can access that, but my variable is the series we are interested in. So if I write 1 here, so 1 would be 2, right? I where value would be 2, so 2 would be printed. Cool. Okay guys, so that's the index or label, you can say, for pandas. And yeah, so in let's say if you are given a table, you want to add your own labels to associate it with a particular series. Let's say this is a series. When I print this series, it only has one column. Okay, I want something like this. I want to add a column like cars. Okay, but it would be of my choice. So what I would do is this is what I have to do. My where equals to pd dot series, and in the series I'll write the uh, series, or the list which I want to play with. And then I will write index equals to, sorry, index equals to any index value that you want. Let's say I'm currently using x, y, and z for this, and w as well. Okay, and let me print my where updated my where. And you can see x1, y2, z3, and w4. They have been labeled. Okay, so this way you can add them. Cool. You can also access the elements using my aware of y, and it will give you the value. Let's say I want to access that my aware of y, and it will give you the value of 2, right? So it's up to you. Okay. So yeah, recording you will get the recording. Yeah, you will get the recording for that. But I would suggest you to I would personally suggest you to attend the session in the live mode, although it's not more than 30-40 minutes left. So you can go to their YouTube channel and Okay, guys. I think that's the feature of Abhishek. That's the feature of Google Collab. Although I have not checked that personally. Sometime I just use this feature, so you can check that on internet. I guess that might help you. Okay, so data frame can be 2D as well. Okay, two-dimensional arrays or two-dimensional table-like structure containing of rows and columns. Okay, so you can create a data frame for that as well. And I hope I am not. We should not go into that detail because we have already seen 1D. So don't go into the 2D now. Uh, just give me 1 second. I think the file has been not be uploaded. Okay, so let's say what if I want to, sir, it's done. Like we are good with the examples of all those things. But what if I want to, what if we want to access the CSV file? Okay, what if we want to access the CSV file? How we can do that? So in Pandas, its CSV file can be accessed. Now, in order to do that, what you have to do is you have to upload a file here. Okay, in Google Colab, I'm telling you, you have to upload your file here. Okay, in sample data, I don't have any CSV file, I guess. Yeah, CSV file is there. Okay, so you have to upload your file here, and then you can access it. How you can access it for? But for you guys, I am taking what to say a file from the online. Okay, there is a file. I'm sending you the URL. Okay, in the chat, and you can access that that CSV file online, and we'll use that in our system. I'm sending you in the chat. Okay, open this URL, and yeah, pd.read, it is read underscore CSV. But how to read the URL from the URL? It generally works for the local system, local file. But since you don't have the local currently, you might not have the local currently. So we'll do that with this. Uh, okay, I have it handy, but again, we'll go with the URL part. That is something new. You'll find that. Guys, got the CSV file. You can give it a. You can open it and look into how the CSV file looks like, and we are writing the code for reading the CSV file. Okay, so let's we'll define a variable named URL, and in this variable we'll paste the URL that I have given you. Okay, so that it would create a string object, and then the data frame, we want to access the data frame. We have seen what data frames are, right? So I'll convert that into the data frame, and so pd dot read CSV. Read CSV is the function that converts everything, that converts the CSV file into the data frame file, and we can access that. Okay, so pd dot read CSV, and you can see if you leave it here, you can see the file path is something which we need to enter. Otherwise, all these are default parameters, so you need to add the file path. Okay, so I'll add the URL, type the URL name, and if I want to print the complete data, so I'll write print df, and it will print the data for me, return the CSV file. You can open and check if this is correct or not. It would be 194 rows and 2 columns, and some of the data is visible here, otherwise other is in the form of dots. Okay, guys, give it a thumbs up if give it done or something like that, if you are able to access and write this code, or you are able to do this, because it sometimes here is where here the people got stuck generally. So give it a try at least. Cool. Others as well, I guess. For others is good too, right? Okay, cool then. Let's uh let's move on then. So this is how you read the CSV files, and now you can do anything with the CSV file. It's up to you. And so yeah, that's how the CSV file works, and you can play with the CSV file. Similarly, you can access the JSON file as well. Okay, I don't have the online JSON file, but the function I would write df equals to the same thing, pd dot read JSON is this time, and you can type the JSON file path. Okay, file path of JSON you can write. Okay, and you will get the data frame from JSON as well. Okay, cool guys. So what JSON is, some people are asking. JSON is a plain text, but it has the format of an object and is well known for the in the world of programming, including pandas. And so yeah, big data sets which are generally stored or extracted in the form of JSON only. Okay, so yeah, JSON files come with a extension of .json, JSON. Okay, so let's say data.json, something like that. Cool. So there is another function called head, which returns the headers and a specified number of rows, starting from the top. Let's say currently this df prints the complete data. I want to print the number of elements. Let's say 10 element. I want to print the top 10 cells. I want to print. So I'll write 10, and oh, this will give an error because the file path. I'll remove that. Cool. So top 10 elements is given from 0 to 9. Okay. So top 10 values it's giving. Cool guys. So this was now we are analyzing the data frame. So data analyzing using pandas, you can say. Okay, first 5 rows again. If you leave this empty, it will print the first 5 rows. So it works. Okay, so it first 5 rows you can print use without using any number. Yeah. So if you want to print, let's say the last 10 rows, the head and then tail opposite of it is tail. So it will print the last 5 values. Okay. So that's the thing. And let's say I want the type of the elements. If let's say I want the null values, non-null values, or the columns, what are the columns? So what uh, there is a function called info. Okay, so will use that df.info, and it will give the info about the data we are having. Okay, so it starts from here. The class is this data frame, 194 entries, 0 to 193. Data columns, 2 columns, column country and region are the 2 columns, 194 non-null values, region also has 192 null values, d type is object, they are all object types, and memory uses this. Okay, cool guys. So this is the info. This is very important for people who are working in data analysis. They know the importance of this thing. Cool. Let's null values are very important to be handled if you are keeping your data for the if you're giving your data to the data scientist or for the further processing. It's important to work with the null values. Okay, now there can be data cleaning as well, but we might not go into that detail. Let's so that was all for pandas as well. The basics are, I think we are good with the basics. Now we'll very quickly jump to the matplot part as well. So what is matplot lib? Matplotlib is the complete term. Matplotlib is a low-level graph plotting library in Python that serves as a visualization utility. Okay, and Matplot was created by John, and Matplot is an open source and free to use as the other languages and libraries are. And it mostly written in Python, but a few segments are written in, let's say, C, Objective C, JavaScript for the platform compatibility. And I'll share you with the code base of Matplot. Again, let's get started with the Matplot, and I'll add a few extra cells so that we can use it. Okay. So again, pip install matplotlib See how it works. Already satisfied. And guys, let me know if you are done with this installation of matplot and import as well. Yeah, done. But most of the matplot utility lies under pyplot submodule. There is a submodule with the name pyplot, and most of the functionalities and the method that we use in matplot lies in pyplot. Okay, so that's why uh, we import pyplot generally. So let's import pyplot only because we don't want our system to get heavy with importing complete matplot library. So matplot lib. So that's how you write. No, that's not. Like this is how you write matplot.pyplot. If you want to access some submodule of any particular big library, you want to a small person or a small submodule. So we'll import this as plt because I don't, every time I don't want to write matplot or pyplot, matplot.pyplot in my code, I'll import this as plt. Now I'll simply write the these three one les. Cool. So importing is, I guess, done. Let's import that. Yeah, importing is successful. And now pyplot package can be referred to as plt. Now let's say I want to print a plot. Let's start with plotting a basic uh, graph. Okay, so let's say there are x points, and x point can be, let's say they are arrays, np dot array we now know. Okay, that's the order, that is why I like teaching in the order and telling in the order of numpy, pandas and matplot and then cbond, because it always make complete sense, and it always helps you understand the previous things and implement those in the further coming modules. So that's very important. So np dot array, and now we'll write 0, 6. So it will give you the array of from 0 to 6, right? And yeah, and ypts again, np dot array, and again the same thing. X point, y point we have defined. Let's plot this using the plot function in the defined in the pyplot library. So it says xpts. Just we have to pass the parameters xpts, ypts, and there is a function called plot.show which helps you show the plot. Okay, this is how it looks like. Currently there is a linear relationship what we have defined. Cool guys, so this is your first plot in matplot library. And yeah, so basically the plot function that we have used is used to draw the points markers in the diagram. By default, plot function draws a line from point to point. Okay, by default it takes from point to point that you can see in the diagram, like connect 0 with 0, 1 with 1, 2 with 2. So that's why it's a straight line passing from 0. Okay, it generally the definition of this line is in the first quadrant it is x equals to y, right? It is x equals to y line. We all have studied in our plus 2. Let's, right, x equals y. The parameter 1 takes the array containing the points on the x-axis, and the parameter 2 would be the array containing the points on the y-axis. And okay, let's say if I want to plot a line of 1 comma 3 and 8 comma 10, so then I have to make x plot as 1 comma 8 and 3 comma 10. So that's where it will plot, because one, right, you know how it works. Okay, then yeah, let's so x, that's horizontal axis, y, it's a vertical axis. And plotting without a line, to plot only the markers, you can use the shortcut string notation with the 0, which means the string would be there. Okay, so let's say if I use here, that is I don't want the line to be there, So I'll use it like something like this, and if I run it again, so it will point dot 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 only. Let's say you don't want a complete line, you want to view your graph in the form of in this. Yeah, we'll come on to that as well. So they will come on to that as well. So let's say I want to mark only the points. I'll use that. Okay. Uh, okay. Now you can point any n number of points. Let's say this currently this line is straight, so you must be thinking how other graphs would be drawn. So let's take another example and let's see how this line works with different case. I'm taking this even and odd or something, the combination of that. Okay, 3, let's say 8, let's say 1, let's say 10. Okay, and I don't want it dotted because I want a complete line. So let's done that. You can see it will come. It basically connects 1 with 3, 8, 1 with 3, and 2 with 8, 2 with 8, and 6 with 1, right? So 6 with 1, it connects 8 with 10, 8 with 10. Okay, so automatically it gets plotted. Cool, guys. So this is how you work with multiple points and in PyPlot. And yeah, so there are a lot of things in this. We'll quickly jump into some important parts like there are scatter plots. I think we have seen scatter plots already. You can represent them here, okay, in the form of dot. And let's go to the bar charts. Okay, uh, let's start working on that. We have already imported plt plot, we have already imported numpy is already imported with us, so we can directly go and define mm, this. So on the x-axis in the graph chart, if you know what graph or histogram basically a bars looks like, a bars is like on the x-axis there are some values like a b c d, and on the y-axis there are values corresponding. Let's say there are sales, let's say for Hyundai, Tata Motors, and Hyundai, Tata Motors, and Maruti Suzuki. They are the names of the brands, and on the left hand side, they are the sales. Okay, let's say 10, 50, 30,000, 30,000. So all these are the on the y-axis. Okay, so I want to plot a chart like this, a bar like this. Okay, so how I would do that? So I would say x would take the values of numpy dot array. X would be let's again Maruti. Let's take Tata and Hyundai. I'm sorry for the spelling is wrong. Uh, np dot array. It would contain the sales basically of these brands. Okay, so they are in thousands. Okay, so let's say obviously Maruti Suzuki always leads, so it's always a hundred. Tata generally comes on second, and they generally comes on third or second or third, depends on Tata Motors and Hyundai. They shift on from second to third, if you are aware of the industry. Okay, so that's how you do. And plt dot that now you use the function dot bar. Okay, then x comma y and plt dot show. This will show the black merchant hopefully. Look, Maruti, Tata, and Hyundai, and 100, and 89. Cool. Okay, guys. So this is how, and now n number of bars you can add. Like you can keep on adding the values on x and keep on adding on values on y, and the size will get increasing. Okay, and yeah. So let's quickly jump to the histograms. You must be knowing that histogram is a graph showing the frequency distribution generally, and it's a graph showing the number of observation within each given interval. Okay, so yeah, so there is a random function and there is a normal function as well to generate. I will leave that. So random normal, I think I need to tell you. Yeah. So np dot random function basically generates the random values from a range. Okay, and normal function dot normals follows the normal distribution while making the random values. Okay, so I make it 170 10 and 250. Okay, in the gap of, okay, so hist is the function that is used to plot the histogram, and I'll use this function. So plt.hist and then plt.show, and it will plot the histogram for you. Hmm. Okay, yeah, sorry, I missed his. Yeah, so you can see this is the histogram. It's a normal function, so it follows the bell-shaped curve. Some of you might be aware of. If some of you are not aware of the normal distribution, it's not in the part of this session, but you can Google it, the normal distribution, and you will get the answer, a very good answer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Please supporting each other like that only. It would make our life easier. Okay, let's come on to the pie charts quickly. And again, pie chart in the form of pie, you know how pie chart looks like it in the form of pie, like a pizza, it will get divided. Okay, so let's quickly do that. X again, I'll define np dot array, and let's say I take values. It should sum to 100, right? So let me take let's say 25, 35, again 25, and again 15. Okay, let me take these values, and I will write plt dot py and x, and then plt dot show, make the plan. There are hell lot of properties how to, there is some label, there is some, all those things are there, but again, that is something like teaching css. Okay, if you know the basics of the css, okay, so you can google all those things on your own. Oh, someone is unmuted. Okay, cool. Cool, then I guess so this was I think pie chart. Yeah, pie chart is ready. So this is the pie chart. You can plot. There are hell lot of things, like you can mention all those things, like values will come up here, you can distribute it. So all those things are also there. Like let's say, let's do one thing, let's do this for the pie chart, because we have not used labels for any of our graphs. Let's do for pie chart at least. So let's say all these are values and I want them to be label. Okay, I want to label them, so I will write label equals to, and then I will uh, mention that, let's say it's x, and it's y, then it's z, and then it's w. Okay, these are the labels, and but in the pie I have to tell, like I am using this label things. So labels is the parameter, and I'm using the this list as the label for labeling my pie chart. I have to tell the system. Now you can see x, y, z, w. You can do that. Cool, guys. So this is how you label anything. Okay, there is a hell lot of things to explore in all these things, like pie charts, histograms, bar graphs, this normal graphs or plots. There are hell lot of things you can explore, you can work on. But again, we are not going into the detail of each and everything. Now we would, I think, we'll quickly jump into the Seaborn part, and let's see what Seaborn has to deliver for us. Okay, let's do the Seaborn part, installation of Seaborn. The same thing, pip install Seaborn, and do, guys, please do this and let me know in the chat if you are done with this installation of Seaborn. Then we'll import Seaborn and we'll do the work. Done, most of you, yeah, guys. Okay, let's import the Seaborn then. If you're done with installation, import Seaborn. Just give me 1 second. Okay, guys, last 5-10 minutes for the session, and we would be done with that. So please bear with me that, and we'll look into a more interesting topic from tomorrow, that is hypothesis testing, and we'll deep dive into that. Okay, so we have imported Simpon. There is a dist plot. How many of you know what dist plot is? DISTPLOT plot. Any one of you know what dist plot is? Who have worked with Seaborn? No? Okay, they must be typing, but we don't have much time, so I'll quickly tell you what dist plot is. Dist plot basically stands for distribution plot. DIST distribution plot, and it takes an input and array and plots a curve corresponding to the distribution of points in the array. Okay, and so that's what the dist plot is. Okay, and we have imported Cbon as, we'll try to import Cbon as SNS, and yeah, and we'll use SNS dot displot, and we have to pass an array to it. The colors and all those things will automatically show up. Okay, yeah. So this is how the C1 looks like, and yeah. So C1 is generally used with matplot library to basically give them the background color or something like that. Okay, yeah, cool. Then I think there is another iris dataset. How many of you are aware of iris dataset, guys? Some of you aware with iris dataset? Uh, Worked with iris? Yeah. No. Okay. Do you have a link where I can register for the activity tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her iris photos. Yeah. So that's what the iris dataset. It contains petal and all those things. So just give me 1 second. I'll send you in the link, Victor. I'll send you the link in the end. Would that work? Right? I don't have it handy. I need to look into that. Okay. Yeah, petals and all those things. Yeah. So that's what the iris dataset is. And yeah. So okay. So let's load this iris dataset, and here itself, yeah, here itself, in the next line we can do. So let's load the dataset. So data equals to cbon library dot load dataset is the function that we use to load any dataset, and this time it's iris. It's already there in the cbon package. Okay, so iris, we don't have to. And let's make the pie plot, line plot, basically using the cbon. So sns dot line plot, and there are few parameters for that. There is one parameter dot sepal length is there. Okay, so in the x will mention sepal length. We'll write sepal length in the x-axis, and the y-axis I'll write the sepal width, and then the data value I'll give it to data itself. Okay, this is the data string, that this is the data I'm using. Okay, let's see how it looks. Yeah, so sepal length and sepal width, x-axis and y-axis, and then it's there. Okay, so this is how the cbound library looks like, and yeah, you can use it to work with matplot as well. Let's say uh, you can, let's say I want to uh, set the title for this. There is no title. Title is something which comes above the table. Okay, or above the graph. So let's say I want to add the title. So I will, for this I will use the matplot library. So plt dot title is the function that we use, and I can name the title as anything. uh, Let me name it iris dataset. And if I plot dot show, I have to use, because I'm using the matplot library. Look, iris dataset is the title now. Cool. Everything rest is done using the cbond, and this title part is done using the matplot. So this is how you can use cbond integrated with matplot. Okay, cool guys. You can also set the limit of x and y's and all those things, figure dark and all those things. You can also tell, like, you can change the style of how it looks like. Okay, so it's up to you then now how you style them, how you use them. So it's up to you. So yeah, I think cbond we have covered. Let's quickly get back to the let's quickly get back. I think we are good with cbond as well. That was the basics, all those basic and installation I have to done, so that this session was day one was to just to uh, give you give you an idea, give you and get your system ready for day two, which is more on the important side. And just give me 1 second. I'm opening something and do that. Okay, so I think my screen is visible. So we started with this on day one. We started with hypothesis testing basics. Uh, we started with types of hypothesis, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, and then we went to why do we need hypothesis testing. Okay, just give me 1 second. Hypothesis testing, why do we need that? And then we quickly come to the Python basics like NumPy, Pandas, matplot, and cbond. And then we'll tomorrow see how to test a hypothesis in Python. Okay, so this would be the topic for tomorrow. For all those who want to attend a session for tomorrow, these will be the topics for tomorrow. Tomorrow, just like today, we get our hands dirty on the coding using Google Collab. We'll try to code tomorrow as well. Okay, we'll try to do that tomorrow. But now this time it would be uh, in hypothesis testing. Okay, cool. Then yeah, same meeting link will work for tomorrow. That just give me couple of minutes. Organizer is joining, and she might be able to answer all those things. I actually I don't have idea on that. So she might be able to give you a good idea on that. Okay, so just give her a couple of minutes. She's joining. So till day two, we'll see type one, type two error, t test, and chi square test, chi square test. Okay, resources and some good references where I have referred from. Give me 1 minute and I'll share you with the code base of that as well, of all those things like numpy where you can refer to numpy and pandas. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll share you with that as well. Mm, yeah, at least we for all those who have already knows all these things, it's a good refresher kind of thing, I would say. uh, Getting yourself brushed up and getting your things ready. So it's like that only. So yeah, thank you for attending the session, but please wait, they might be joining soon. And till then I'm sharing matplot, pandas, and numpy, I guess. Yeah, numpy I want to share. Numpy code base I'll also share that. You can refer to them if you have any doubts, or if anything you want, or refer to them. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, everyone. But please wait; they might be joining. last thing. Okay, guys, that was all. I think I'll share you the resources in the. I've shared you with the resources, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, 9 to 11. And over to you, Karishma. Yeah, thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.